Top of the morning, buenos dias, mi hentai. It's your boy Big Body, back at it again at the Crack of Dawn. And we hitting shoulders today. We got military press, we got clean and press with a squat, we got plate eights with bands, and we got another topic for you today, which is masculine body dysmorphia. It's a serious, listen, I dealing with that right now. That's a topic near and dear to my soul. And I have a lot of thoughts about it because we don't really have the framework to discuss it. We get ridiculed a lot for it. We often can't complain. We often can't grieve about particular things. And this is one of them. So we about to get into that. Firstly, big up everyone that watched the last video on corn addiction and the leg day, as well as folks that commented on the lapel placement. I ain't seen it done before, but the thing is, with this being a condenser mic lapel, I can't have it too far from my mouth. Otherwise, it ain't gonna pick me up as well as I wanted to. So as close as I could get it to my mouth is where it will be, which is literally in my bed. And big up all of the people that was getting vulnerable inside the comment section. I really appreciate that. I'm trying to cultivate a space for positive masculinity and discussing the things that masculine folk them face on a regular day. And one of the things that I face on a regular day is trying to figure out what and how will I be smelling that day. And today, the scent of the day was L'Aventure by Al Harmain. This is a Aventus clone. Yeah, an Aventus clone. I don't know if you know about Creed Aventus. Creed Aventus costs at least like $300. Not what your boy trying to spend on something that nobody will be able to recognize. We could act like we like it for ourselves. We could act like we spray things like this only for ourselves. But the reason why is that we enjoy smelling good because we like how people treat us when we smell good. I mean, of course, I don't like smelling my arm too. I don't like smelling my arm. I don't like smelling my gooch. I don't like smelling none of that. So I try to keep clean, right? But at the same time, you know, we like to smell good because we like how people interact with us when we smelling good. I wore this today because, of course, it smells good, especially in heat. It has some very nice pineapple top notes inside it that smell amazing the warmer that you get. And I live in the Bahamas and I was also a hot man. And given that I was doing shoulders, I also know that I would be spreading my arm pretty high, and therefore you gotta make sure and be cognizant and self-aware of your pits and trying to make sure that it don't stink ahead of time. I mean, you should do that anyway, but definitely pay a lot of attention if you know that you're about to be raising your arm to the high heavens, which is what I did today. We're doing shoulders, one of those muscles that are sometimes overlooked alongside back. I think back is probably the most overlooked muscle group. So we have like a spectrum of two different exercises. One that deals with like the lateral, so that's like the plate eights, the plate eight with bands. And then we have another section of exercises like the military press, the clean and jerk, and squat. So we're targeting both the lateral as well as the push, you know? And in those two groups you have different intensities. So of course, like the lower intensities we get more reps out of, and the high intensity workouts like the clean and jerk and squat, the clean press and squat, lower rep but higher intensity type of exercise. Also putting today's Strong app screenshot right now. I use the Strong app to track my fitness workouts and everything like that. I might actually even put my activity ring goals in there as well, just so you can see like what exactly I'm doing on a regular basis, and if you use your fitness trackers as well, and if that's something that is healthy for you to maintain, because yet again, like some people should not wear fitness trackers if they have like a particular setup and a situation that is a triggering experience for them. Please don't wear no fitness trackers. It works for me. It makes me a lot more cognizant of my health, which is something that I'm enjoying taking care of right now. It does not have a negative effect on me, so that's fine. But it's something that I do not necessarily recommend to everybody, because yet again, if those vitals and metrics are things that are making you anxious, having it on your wrist is a terrible thing to do. Terrible thing for your mental health, which is of course your health. People be forgetting about that, because especially like a lot of fitness channels and whatnot, like they be talking about fitness and they don't be talking about their mental health, when that is literally the entirety of the predictor and the protagonist of your fate. It is the author of whatever destiny that your physical capacity has. If your mental health ain't good, your physical health ain't gonna be good neither. I might as well tell you. Even if you look good, your physical health is don't always be good. Yes, Lord. And that brings us into body dysmorphia. That is the best way that I could transition to a discussion on masculine body dysmorphia. Because let me tell you something. Man, them been looking really good. We've been taking care of ourselves physically, as far as just like working out and getting our diets together and everything like that. I'm proud of you all. Proud of the mask and man that have been taking care of themselves. Now, that being said, are you taking care of yourself, or are you just taking care of how you look? What y'all, let me show you what's going on, man. Why y'all walking in the road? It's always something at this roundabout. I don't know why the British left us with roundabouts, because we don't know how to use this. We don't know how to use roundabouts. You just have people dipping and diving in between the things. You have people honking me in the back here like I supposed to go anywhere. Like I could write my car off because you impatient and you want to go and you want to see me collide with all the rest of them. You all ain't gonna help me take my little car out the road if I mash one of these cars right now. Don't beep your ma. Don't beep me, king. Ah, okay, now I get it. Someone getting an accident again. Someone getting an accident. I kid you not. Just last episode, someone got in an accident. Just last episode, there was an accident at this very roundabout, the roundabout that I take every morning, and here y'all are on an accident again. Y'all, we need to abolish roundabouts, y'all. We need to abolish the roundabouts. Thank you for having sense to let me out. Instead of this woman right here, look at y'all, man. Look at y'all. Y'all need to stop, man. Y'all need to stop. I need to stop because I'd end up just like that too if I don't focus on the road. We're talking about masculine body dysmorphia. Here's the definition of body dysmorphia on the screen for y'all. But for many folks, colloquially, we understand body dysmorphia to simply be a relationship between what we believe our body to look like and what our body actually looks like. It is a discrepancy or misalignment with those two things. So the way that formulates for me has to do with like a lot of fat phobic trauma that I've dealt with growing up. We had particular avatars of manhood, and as a young boy, an impressionable young boy watching TV shows, playing with action figures that didn't look like me for a number of reasons, not only bodily, but the fact of the matter is that like a lot of the action figures and characters in these shows that I watched did not look like me because they were not black. So I had two prongs of a dissonance between what I look like and what I understood to be what a desirable person or man looks like. And that was only compounded upon by my family members who would always comment on my body, would always comment about, oh, you know, you're growing up, you're getting a little fat there though, you're getting a little fat. We need to, you know, what you eating out here? And as a kid, you know, you ain't dieting, you know, you ain't have no cognizance of your body as it pertains to being fat. Being fat is not a derogatory thing at all, and it definitely isn't one when you're just born or when you're a kid and you don't have those preconceived notions and societal understandings of what a desirable body is. And at some point, I have videos on this already, but at some point we decided that fat is not desirable. But as a kid, you don't know fat to be undesirable. You don't even know that you're fat. You just exist. But I quickly was disabused of that ignorance of me being chubby. I wouldn't even call myself fat. I couldn't even claim that. Which is also like a weird thing because, again, like when you're not what people believe to be fat, and you kind of exist in like this weird space, this hallway, this waiting room of fatness. But for all intents and purposes, I was a chubby kid. I was eating a lot, and I was also eating a lot to cope with things. This came at the time when my parents were going through a separation, and I can now, in retrospect, realize that I was looking for comfort at the end of a fork. You know, I was looking for restoration and fullness of losing what you understand to be the only family dynamic that you had. I was looking for fullness by being full. And that carried into the day right now. So all throughout college, all throughout my teen years, and literally in my adulthood right now, I am hyper cognizant of my weight and how I look. You can see my weight data in screenshot right here, but I have been on a mission of cutting body fat, especially like deliberately, since March, and it's currently August right now. What people don't tell you about becoming a father is, even though you may not be the one carrying the baby and going through labor and whatnot, you do gain weight. There's like a sympathetic weight gain that you get, as well as just like the fact that like your habits are changing, that you will end up gaining weight. And I experienced that, and that came with it like a lot of bouts of depression. I think that I was at my biggest in quite some time. In March, I gained about 20 pounds when I just had my kid. And that had me at about maybe, 230, 240. And I was determined to get that down. And right now, I am at 216. And I still feel huge. Especially having to be looking at yourself a lot for editing videos and whatnot. Because of course the camera and the angles of the camera make you look bigger than you actually are. This isn't even about what is desirable to your partner. If you're partnered up with someone, being shredded like this isn't necessarily the most desirable thing that we can be. I don't see what folks see when they see me, and they claim that, foreign, you look good, don't lose too much weight now. And also like the idea that like weight loss and rapid weight loss or quick weight loss is associated with sickness. Like you have some people thinking that I on steroids, and I'm just like, you aren't sick every time when you lose weight, right? Just like you aren't sick if you gain like a lot of weight. We often assign a morality to weight loss and weight gain. We often assign value judgments to those things as well. We often say things like, if you're fat, you're lazy. Fat and lazy, fat and dumb. Morning, what you say?
Good morning,
Can I get a croissant wish, please? A croissant, sausage, egg, and cheese croissant.
A croissant with sausage, egg, and cheese, and that's a combo?
Yeah.
Flavor drink for that?
Let me get apple juice, please.
Apple?
Yes.
Anything else here?
Nope, that'll be all, sir.
Would you like to try our Cinnabon?
That's okay.
That'll be $7.50.
All right, appreciate you.
Thank you. Enjoy your day.
You too. It's all of these different ways that we put a particular body type over others, right? And that happens for men too. But the weird thing about when it happens to men is that we're not supposed to be too into the way that we look due to the way that we've been socialized. So when we try to take care of ourselves, we end up being called sassy, we end up being called metrosexual. You often get this a lot with the women in femmes. Like they will pillory you for being interested in how you look, but at the same time want you to look a particular way. So they associate the cognizance of one's body with being gay. So it's another thing that men can't do. We can't be too into our looks, but we have to look a particular way. And that only exacerbates our body dysmorphia. I ain't gonna even get into the phallic element of this when it talks to penile dysmorphia or penile envy. That's a conversation for another day. Let me know if you want us to have it, because of course there's a lot in that. There's a lot to deal with that when it comes to race, when it comes to misconceptions of size in general or inaccuracies when it comes to that. All of these things contribute to a feeling of inadequacy in men, feeling like we're not good enough, that we're not worth enough, that we're not valuable in our default state in factory settings. And the whole point of the matter is you are. Like, men in masks often derive their value and associate their value and identify their value as being able to earn, being able to provide protection, financial prosperity, security. And if we can't do those things, we're invaluable. We're worthless. That is something that is taught us. That is something that is reciprocated from women and femmes when we try to engage with them. When we don't meet that standard, it leads to a lot of negative aspects, not only for men, but the women and femmes them too. One of the reasons why, like when I talk to the man them and like they going through like their cheating bouts and everything like that, I kid you not, one of the main reasons why men cheat is because they don't feel valuable. It has nothing to do with the woman. It has nothing to do with the sex or the body or social media and they seeing gals and they being tempted. It has everything to do with the fact that they don't feel valuable or secure in their masculinity, and they're looking for the outward and external approving and validation from someone else. And the more that they could get that, the more gals that they could cheat with in order to gain that validation, the more man they feel. And it is not the man that I begrudge in that. It's very easy to do that, right? But I empathize with that man. Because what it really is a matter of looking at the system of society and realizing that at every turn, there is an investment in you as a man feeling inadequate. There's an investment in you, the man, to feel like you are worthless. Because then that makes you, the man, have to find ways to find worth. Whether that's working yourself to death, whether that's putting yourself in dire straits in order to gain financial prosperity or something like that. So body dysmorphia, what it truly is this misalignment in what we believe our body is and what it actually is. And I'll take it further. The misalignment of what you think your body is, what your body actually is, and what you believe a body should be. And that's a crucial element that I often find out of the discourse in general. All of these things are working in tandem to create a state of bodily confusion that ends up ripping you apart and making you behave in different ways that are not desirable. Not desirable to others as well as to yourself. Because the lack of confidence that you have when you have body dysmorphia is not an attractive feature. Confidence is attractive not only to yourself, but just in general to folks that you're trying to court. And when you're not confident, you act in a particular way. You act in accordance with that lack of confidence, that lack of security in oneself. And that creates a self-fulfilling prophecy, because then you begin to feel like you are affirming your body dysmorphia or the fact that your body isn't desirable. You're affirming that, but you're not accounting for the spurious variables of it not being your body, which is not attractive, but it being other factors other than your body that is not attractive, and that is resulting in you getting the type of reactions you do in the dating world or in your interpersonal relationships. And we end up working on our bodies because we think that that's the problem, when it's not. And that only further exacerbates the body dysmorphia until you really get to a point where you're botched up because you've been operating on the wrong signifiers and signals instead of reflecting on what exactly it is that is obstructing you from getting the type of engagement that you want to. And I think one of the biggest ways to solve body dysmorphia, easier said than done, is a very deep reflection on what you are and why you are. And that reflection needs to be independent as much as you can of any external factors to get a true understanding of what makes you you, and then matching that up with the way that people engage with you and what people think of you to be. Because, hot take, we live in community with others, and all autobiography is a lie. So I could decide to a degree who I am, but a lot of who I am is in the context of what people think of me. And to delude oneself into thinking that I have full control over my entire identity in this vacuum is not healthy, and it's also not true. It is inaccurate. But also think about what those people that you are also identifying yourself with, think about who they are. Are those the people whose opinion of you should be taken to heart? Some people's opinions are worth way more than others. Like a person that is full of hate, full of negativity, and misguided on a lot of things in the world, their opinion at that point isn't as valuable as the folks that see you for who you are, maybe are able to empathize with your position, and people that you admire yourself. What do they think of you? Another way to really combat body dysmorphia is to get off of social media, or be very careful about the social media consumption of bodies that you are consuming. Be very cognizant of who is on your feed, and try your best to cultivate a feed of people not only that look like you, but just like a diverse breadth of people and body types. If you find yourself, I wouldn't say, to just, I wouldn't say to just fill your feed with people that look like you, because then you'll have another problem. But you want a diverse amount of people there so that you can begin to figure out where your body lies. And with people with your body type, I would definitely encourage you to really invest in making your feed look a lot more like that, and understanding what your body type is capable of. Because not everybody's body goals are the same. And there are people with your body type, but at a different stage in their body transformation, and you could begin to formulate your bodily journey after that. And probably like my biggest tip in combating body dysmorphia is recognizing it just straight up. Recognizing the fact that you are susceptible to being disillusioned from your own body. Tap there for some more videos on the topic, and I can see you in the next Big Body Foreign.